that I wanted to show everybody is the CLNA, which we're doing today, is one form of advisory. However, at the end of the month, we're going to be doing individual program advisories in our district. I will be sending this out. We're going to be doing one at Coachella Valley High School on April 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. Students will be showcasing their projects. We will have a taco truck. And then we will have small group advisories by industry sector. And then,
oh, sorry, Maria. I was just going to say, I can promise any of you that come from business and community, you will get a lot of exposure to some great high school kids who can tell you all about the fantastic things they're doing in their programs.
Yes. And then we're going to do.
Erica, I've been going for the last X number of years, and every year it gets better, and the kids just blow me away with their presentation. So it is well worth it. Bring your family.
Absolutely. And then we're going to have the second advisory at Desert Mirage High School. So we're going to separate them this year only because of COVID, right? And then next year we'll combine them again. And hopefully with my two neighboring districts, we can do like a big student showcase valley-wide. But so these are the two dates. Again, this is a QR code. You can snap it and you can register, but I'm also going to send this out later, but I just thought I'd show it now while everyone's filling out the survey. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to stop sharing.
And there's one question that was in the chat from, was it Wendy regarding the education pathway from College of the Desert. Wendy's asking about, is there any opportunity to promote to students in your district around opportunities with the early childhood education and education programs at College of the Desert?
Yes, and just as a side note, we just did a student survey and we were actually shocked at how many students are actually picking child education. So we can't do it next year because it's not in our master schedule and we've already kind of set it. But probably in 23, 24, we're going to probably start in education and child development, but you may still come to our schools because we would welcome that anytime.
Yes, definitely.
And also there's a new K-16 collaborative grant coming down through the state, and education is one of their focus pathways. So there could be an opportunity for the region to focus on that and secure some funding for it as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
One more question about counselors.
I'm answering that right now.
Yeah, just, okay, so do we use one counselor assigned to each academy? The answer to that is no right now. We've looked at that model. We would love to do that, but there would be no way to have a consistent caseload by counselor. But we're looking at a few different things in our district right now so that our students can be more focused with adding additional counselors.
Yeah, I second that, definitely. It's a great model.
Okay, and with that, I believe, because we were going to go in alphabetical order, so I did.
Sorry, I thought my.
Oh, Lisa, you're not muted.
There we go, I got you.
Okay, and I believe is Desert Sands up next, Kim?
Yes, Mr. Bebo, you have 15 minutes. The floor is yours.
All right, let's roll. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen here. But before I do that, two of our Career Technical Education Assistant Principals are on with us today. Dr. Kalkowski is here. Say hello.
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 And Sarit Seg is here as well, I think.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, there she is. Okay, awesome. And then we have a handful of teachers with us and assistants that are here. I know April's here and Adrian's here, I saw. So thank you all for being here today and helping support this process. I have a little bit of a different setup and I'm a little bit out of sorts. So hopefully everything is going to work out and I'm going to remember where my camera is. So I'm going to go ahead and share a screen and hope that this works the way I'd like it to. Does that look all right?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see your.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also I've got to hand it to Marie. That was a very eloquent opening, setting everything up for us and really explaining a lot of the data that you're going to see here in just a minute, because as she said, So this process is part of our federal Perkins funding, and they're very specific about the information they want to know, they want us to report on, and they want us to share. So you're going to see some consistency across the school districts, which I think is great. I think maybe even expedites the process. But as you can see here, just so I'm making sure I'm covering my tracks, the goal of the CLNA is to help educators identify, understand, and prioritize the needs the districts and schools must address to improve performance and decrease performance gaps. This is the annual review of data and setting of priorities. So I'm going to present some data just like Marie. I'm going to share a survey at the end, just like Marie, and ask you to prioritize just like you did before. So thank you for your time. Okay, so here we go. Gotta see here if we can, if anything's gonna do it. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, holy cow. All right, so looking at some data. So this is the labor market information that came out just about most recently. I know there were numbers out in February. However, the list of jobs priorities hasn't really changed. So even though these numbers are back from January, the list is the same. And what you can see across the board here is in Riverside County, this isn't for Coachella specifically, but in Riverside County, government is the leading job opportunity for our students as they go and they look around. And in our school district, that means our public service programs, of which we have two, one at La Quinta High School, one at Shadow Hills. You can see, according to these numbers, and these were pulled about a month ago, so this is this year, we have 402 students in our public service programs. And of that, 57% of those are female. We already talked before about the importance of supporting non-traditional participation in our programs, and so we didn't track boys and girls here, but for the girls, you can see kind of where they fall. The second on the list is healthcare. We have 3 programs in our school district that are focused on healthcare: India, La Quinta, and Palm Desert, and it's by far our biggest attended. 649 students, 61% of those are female. So as you go down through the list, there are some interesting things to point out. The next one is transportation warehousing. We only have one transportation program, and that's over at Amistad. Now that's an amazing program, and if you ever want to come and see it, I'm happy to meet you over there and show you. It's remarkable, but only 26 of our students are participating. So as we go through our needs here, I'm going to get to those in just a second. You know, that's an area where we'd like to see an increase, because clearly the Inland Empire and the desert region for transportation, warehousing, and logistics, this is a booming industry, and we really need to address it, and we need to do a better job. We started a construction program this last year, and Professor Patanga is here with us too. I saw him there in the list. So hey, Bert. He is doing an absolutely knockout job over at Eisenhower campus, which is adjacent to Amistad. And you can see that there are a ton. All you have to do is drive around the valley. It's amazing how much construction is going on. So we have a new program that just started. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. But we only have 5 students currently participating. Now, those 5 students are rock stars, but we want to increase that number as we're getting into next year. So over on the right, that orange column is our identified needs in this particular area. We want to increase, based on these numbers, participation in these programs. We also have some new programs starting next year: cosmetology. We're bringing back education at Shadow Hills, and entrepreneurship. So we need to support those programs and maintain those programs where we have great participation, but maybe not as many job opportunities. And of course, we always want to encourage the female students into all of our CTE programs. So you'll see this again as we go on, and these will be the areas that I'll ask you to prioritize when we get to the survey. Another step in this process is for teachers and for our CTE admin team to take a look at our programs and find where there's areas where we need to focus some attention. And as we went through that process this year, first by giving a survey to the teachers, and then by taking a look at those returns with our admin team, we identified these 3 areas as being in need. So the first one, CTE pathways are articulated with post-secondary and industry through programs of study, formal articulation agreements, and dual enrollment. Actually, we're doing a great job with this. Our dual enrollment courses and concurrent courses are off the charts. I'm going to show you those numbers here in just a minute. But what's interesting about that is that brings a new challenge to public education, and that is the collaboration between our community college instructors, professors, and our high school professors, instructors, teachers. So In some cases, they're working alone. In other cases, they're working in pairs. And in all cases, they're working to teach courses where we really need to provide some time for our high school teachers to collaborate with our college professors so that we make sure that our courses are consistent and that we've got consistent practices going on. And in some cases where we have our college professors coming onto campus, giving them support, it's a little bit different working with high school students. So that's an area that we want to focus on for next year. Another area is a collaboration between academic and CTE teachers. So just like collaboration between the CTE teachers and the college staff, the CTE teachers collaborating with the high school staff, because we know that what the students learn in their academic courses is applied in the CTE courses. And then what's learned there is taken back into the academic courses. But we don't provide a whole heck of a lot of time right now. We need to provide more of an opportunity for the CTE teachers to be collaborating with the academic core, the math, the science, the social science, those areas. And so that's another area we want to focus on. And then finally, that the CTE department analyzes the student retention numbers each year and develops strategies to help increase retention with the program. Look, we lose kids and we don't want to lose kids, because here's the statistic that everybody loves in CTE. 100% of kids who complete their CTE program graduate high school. And that's not in Coachella, that's everywhere. So we know that if we can hold on to kids and keep them in the program, that they're going to complete and that they're going to graduate. So we want to focus some more attention in that area for those kids that, for whatever reason, and there's lots, and maybe it's just not possible for them to complete, but where we might potentially be losing kids, we want to bring them back in so they can finish up and move on and graduate and, move on to a career. That's the whole point. I'll take a breath. So looking at some of our data. So Perkins specifically identifies 9 different populations for us to take a look at. There's 9 on this list, but there's one that Perkins identifies that we don't, and it has to do with adult learners. And there's one that we identify, that's our tribal foster youth, that they don't, but it's still 9. And as you can see, we're heading in the right direction pretty much across the board. We did in 2021 take a little bit of a dip in our economically disadvantaged students, but everywhere else we've increased. And in some of these areas, like single parents, we don't have any. So that's going to be a flat line. But as we take a look at the information, that the column over, the orange column on the right, you can see that our 2021 non-traditional enrollment increased 5% from 1920. We're proud of that. English learners increased 9% from 1920, and individuals with disabilities increased 11%. So we're doing some things well. Our teachers, and a lot of them are here on this call, are doing a great job of working with those students and keeping them engaged in the courses and encouraging new ones to get involved. It's a big deal. How is that happening? Well, one of the things that we focused on in Desert Sands the last couple of years has been universal design for learning, which we plan on implementing district-wide here in the next few years. But our CTE teachers have been focused on this in their own classrooms and working with coaches from our special ed department over the last couple of years. And we think that's having a really positive impact, we hope it is, on these populations of students. And in the way that we're advertising our programs, we've got a new advertising campaign that includes stickers and handouts, and we've purposely put non-traditional students' photos in these slots. Like, for example, for building and construction trades, there's a young lady with a hard hat on, and she's on the construction site to help encourage those students that might not see themselves in those roles that way. So one of our goals here is to increase enrollment and achievement of these 9 special populations, these 9 groups. And if you want to take a deeper dive into this data, Marie, she showed you some charts and some tables and things that I'm not showing you here. There's a link here where it says data dive, and I'll put this into the chat when we're finished. If you want to take a look at each one of these subgroups with the data disaggregated over the last 3 years, it's a lot. But if you're really into the data and you want to take a look at it, I'm happy to share. All right, a couple more. So Marie talked about completers. We had in 2021, 388 students complete our CTE programs in Desert Sands, and that number was up 13% or 46 students from the year before. So we surveyed these students, and she's right. We call them on the phone. We reach out any way we can. April Morrison is on this call, and she herself has made a lot of phone calls for Palm Desert High School, and she can tell you it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge, because we get really good information back, and you can see what they're doing when they leave us. You can see that in 2021, 99 of these 308 were in a four-year university 1 year out. So 179 of them were in community college and 202 were competitively employed. And before you check me on my math, because I know that's more than 388, they can fall into one or more categories. So they can be at university and be competitively employed. That's how that part works out. A little bit of a dip there in 1920 for community college. I think that's probably COVID related, but as you can see, we've bounced back and we're very proud of these numbers. How did we get here? Well, we have increased the number of dual enrollment courses. And like I promised on the last slide, I'm going to show you that number. It's awesome. And we've also increased the number of students participating in our CTSOs, our career technical student organizations. And I know Ariel Gonzalez is on the call and Joe Martin, and there's, I think Kayla's on here today too. These folks have dedicated their time after school to work with these students and to take them to competitions on the weekends locally, statewide, and in the last couple of years, we've even had students go nationally. And what's really great about that is that it gives the students an opportunity to apply what they're learning off campus. So, they're doing it every day in their classes and in the different projects and things they're completing. But in a CTSO, they take that same experience, they compete against other students somewhere else. So it could be on a college campus, or it could be in a convention center. It's been a great opportunity. And as we increase the number of students participating in those CTSOs, that's increasing them seeing themselves in that career moving forward. And you can see it reflected in these numbers. So we want to continue to encourage that. One way we can do that is working more with our counselors. And we mentioned this too. It's kind of a challenge, career counseling, and, working with a plan for students after they graduate. And that's actually some of the work that One Future is doing a great job with as well, supporting us in that process. But that's definitely an area of need that you get to prioritize here in just a minute. Okay, last slide. We're there. I won't go over the areas of need. That's what you see on the right in the orange, but I do want to point out this last table of data on the left because it's exciting. We are up this year compared to last year, 3.3% overall, 2.92% in terms of our female participation. But the really great number there is where it says number of dual and concurrent courses up 121%. How did that happen? Well, a big piece of that is Professor Patanga and what's going on over construction, because we've added 8 college credit courses. That whole program is COD classes taught by a COD instructor to those kids. So that's boosted our numbers for sure. But in every one of our programs, we're looking for areas to add at least one college credit course into that program. And we've made great strides in this last year. COD is a great partner, and we're even starting to partner now with Cal State. We're excited about that. So, okay, that was a lot. There's the link. There's the QR code. If I stop sharing screen, the QR code is going to go away. So I'm not sure how we want to do that. But I have to do that in order to add it to the chat. So I'm going to escape out of here, and maybe that still works a little bit. But if I stop sharing, then there's the survey. And I don't know if you can, you probably can't see that anymore. So the QR code's probably done. But there's the link there. And if you're on your computer, maybe that's an easier way to do it anyway.
Kevin, that's great. So the link, survey link is in the chat, and we can also share your slides afterwards if you'd like with folks. We'll do a follow-up with. And
okay, I'm also going to put the slide deck in there for those of you that would like to review and go back over it. Oh, wow, that's a big old long link. No, that's not the link I want to give you. That won't work. That's weird. That shouldn't look like that. Let me try it again. Oh, that's bad. All right, well, we'll give it there anyway. There's the slide deck. Actually, I can send out, I've got the slide deck in English. I've got it in Spanish. I've got it with commentary in English and Spanish. I've got a PDF version of it. So if you'd like that, I can make it available. Actually, Kim, I gave all those to you right before the meeting started, which didn't help anything, but Kim's got them too. So if you want to go back to it, that's available for you as well.
Absolutely. And I'll send it out to everybody as a follow-up to today's meeting too. Any questions for Kevin? Thank you very much. I'm seeing some applause in the chat. Okay. Okay, so please, again, it's critical that we complete each of these surveys for each of the programs. So take a minute if you want to do that, and then we'll also circulate them afterwards. Appreciating everybody's feedback. Okay, so should we move on to Palm Springs Unified and Deanna and Calista?
Hello. Hi, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Thank you for having me here, having us here.
Welcome, and Calista is the current technical ed coordinator for administrator for Palm Springs Unified.
Can you see my screen, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, I am Calista Combs. I am the coordinator, as Kim said, for Palm Springs Unified School District, the coordinator of career and technical education. So I'm going to be sharing some CTE updates for our district. We just had our meeting yesterday for our district advisory. So there are some things that we don't have everything in here, but I can speak to our data. So I'm going to go ahead. When we're done, Deanna is going to share it in the chat, so I don't have to stop doing everything. So these are our programs here at Palm Springs Unified School District. We have Desert Hot Springs High School, Rancho Mirage High School, Cathedral City High, and then we also have our last one here is Palm Springs High School. We have a total of 14 high school CTE academies. 5 of those are CPA academies. We have 1 middle school, and then we also have an alternative education. With our CPAs, we have 2 at Cathedral City, as you can see right here, 2 at Desert Hot Springs, and 1 at Palm Springs High School. For a non-traditional, one of the things that I was really great seeing is looking at the data for our school district. Our academies, with the exception of the Palm Academy, all were underrepresented in female, and now they're not. So that was just phenomenal to me. So we had data was underrepresented for female students, Hill, Film and Television Arts, Renewable Energy, and our PSA Academy. And now they're just about even right now. So that was one of the things that was very good to see. We don't have any students that are underrepresented for our female students. It's coming up close to the male because the PSA was very male dominated. Our renewable energy also was male dominated. And then our Hill was one as well. So the teachers have been doing a lot of recruiting for female students. They've been doing a lot of outreach in order to get those numbers up within the past, even over the period of COVID when we did have a decline. So I thought that was really great. Some quick facts about our enrollment at Palm Springs Unified School District. We have 1,846 career and technical education students. Of those 1,846, 849 students are in our California Partnership Academies. Again, we have 5 of those partnership CPA academies in our district. We have some interesting facts about our CTE program completion rate. In 2019 and 20, we had 80.8% of our students for our CTE program have the completion rate of 80.8%, I'm sorry. 2020, 2021, 70.1%. So we had a decline when it came to COVID. I think everybody pretty much had the same kind of instance going on when COVID hit us, right? Now, those that completed of that percentage rate of the CTE completion rate, we had the UC and CSU data showed us 62.2% in 2019 and 75.2% in 2020, and 41.7% were prepared. As we know, the prepared means that, you know, they have their A through D course requirements with a grade C or better, and they meet other criteria. 2021, we don't have the data. CDE did have that statement about, you know, they suspended the reporting of the indicators. So we don't have that data for the 2021. Now I like this baby. So I had to include the baby because that's how I felt when I saw the changes to the 12 from the 11 to the 12. So I was on it when it came to the 12. I'm a CTE teacher. I remember those. And then, you know, we had that meeting with Brian Baker. So it was breaking news and that baby broke back down the hallway and I was that baby. So 11 elements changed to 12. And, it's different. So we're going to go over that because that's what our activity are in our Google form. We're going to have you rate us on those 12, right? You do not have to read all this. This is just what it looks like now. They have the essential element number over here. And then it has a description of that element. So you'll see here, essential element number 1 is a student-centered delivery of services. And then it'll have a small description area. The next line we have is the rating scale. So it's from 0 to 3 points, 0 meaning not yet in practice. And then it goes all the way to 3. Right? And you'll have, the LEA has not created this opportunity, right? There's nothing done. Basically, you get a 0. Or you get quality practice, you get 2 points. So when we go into our exercise, our activity, this is what the scale is going to be based on. This right here. So this is what it looks like. We have Palm Springs Unified School District CTE self-review. You're going to have to put in your email address, your first and last name, title and organization. And then over here is what it looks like as far as the rating scale, what I was telling you about, 0, not yet in practice, all the way up to 3. You'll have a brief description, it's very condensed, of the element to give you a kind of idea of what you're rating us on. And then right here is where you'll have the rating from 0 to 3 right here. You have about 10 minutes. And Dr. Clna, do you have anything that you want to add to this, or she's going to put this in the chat actually?
Yes,
And then we're going to come back here in 10 minutes.
yeah, we wanted to give you guys time to do it now. We know that oftentimes once you leave a meeting, it's very difficult to come back to. So the Google survey link is in the chat box. And so we invite you to go through and rate us on the elements. It will ask you, much like the other surveys, to indicate your title, organization, and email address. And so there'll be some personal information that we'll be seeking from you. But if you could take a few minutes to go ahead and access our Google survey, we appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to put a little timer up here. I don't think it'll take 10 minutes.
I was going to say maybe not quite 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take 10 minutes.
And then we're going to share one last piece of information before we turn it back over to you, Kim.
Thank you.
Excellent. That sounds good. Okay, folks. So,
In 2 minutes, we have something we're going to show.
okay. So let's take a second and invite folks to.
So how many courses are there in dual enrollment with College of the Desert from Palm Springs Unified?
Right now we have, for CTE dual enrollment, we have 18.
In which disciplines?
We have 4 courses in design media, and actually I could just pop it up. We could take a look at it right now. So Clna, if you could stop sharing screen for 1 second. These are the courses in our CTE programs. We'll be adding additional food services and hospitality to 1 semester courses. And again, these are just our CTE courses. These are not our academic courses. We also have academic courses in Spanish, English, history, astronomy, statistics. All right, I don't know, Clna, if you want to go ahead and pop back up the presentation. And so as Calista's popping back up, Calista came to Palm Springs Unified sort of mid-year. And so she's been drinking from the fire hose a little bit. And so as I hand the baton off, some of the negotiations for our dual enrollment courses, I've been taking the lead on, certainly for CTE and dual enrollment CTE related dual courses. Callista will be involved in that conversation. So she'll be able to speak more in depth about those courses moving forward.
Thank you, Dr. Killian. So hopefully everybody got a chance to go through. I know I saw a chat that said that they didn't know enough about the programs. I totally understand. You know, if you can't thoroughly rate, just give me a ballpark figure kind of thing if you can. I'd appreciate that. So we do have a CTE showcase upcoming. I'd like you all to come to it. We have not had one because we've been shut down with COVID. So this is going to be a great event. We have student ambassadors, one from each of our high schools and several ones in the program. They're really taking the lead and a lot of community members will be there. We invite you. It's May 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. It's right at the Air Museum in the community. And so you can take a little screenshot of this, go to the link right there at the bottom, or you can even take a picture of the QR code and it'll allow you to RSVP and give you more information as well. In order to connect with us, here's our information. Dr. Killian is our Director of Secondary Curriculum. I'm Callista right here, Career and Technical Education Coordinator. Regina is our District Administrative Assistant, and then we have Atosa, which is Miss Bellamy. And I always like to leave with a quote, so I'm going to say this. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words, and gratitude is shown in acts. And so I'm going to attribute this to I love my department. And One Future, you all do a great job in connecting everybody. And for that, I'm very grateful to you. And I'm new here, and I really appreciate all the work that you do in order to get us together. So that was my little quote for that. And wow. I am done. That is it. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, just a comment, Callista. Just welcome. I'm so glad you're here in our valley, and I just can't wait to do more deep dives with you. And me, you, and Kevin, we're definitely going to rock it. We're going to continue to work. Okay. So just thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to some of our people who are here from, we had our meeting yesterday, literally. So this is 2 late days for some of our CTE folks who are in the room, our work-based learning coordinators. And so I want to I was very grateful for that because we know how difficult it is. Marie, I've already had a little taste of Marie. She's awesome. I'm at Kidwin. So she was really great. Kevin, I haven't met you. Oh, wait, no. Deanna, I met you at the tour. I did meet you. So, and last but not least, I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Killian. She has been phenomenal and helped me navigate through this from teacher to admin role. It is very different. So I want to thank her as well. So Dr. Deanna, you got anything you want to last words here?
No, we just, no, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. And yes, thank you to those that are here. Palm Springs Unified has been 2 nights of late nights and we appreciate it. I will just say that thank you for showing grace. Callista, like I said, has joined our team a little bit later in the year. And so she's done a great job. If you haven't checked it out, we have a CTE newsletter that's interactive. So please check that out. And she downplayed the social media. She's been instrumental in our social media. We have a CTE YouTube page. We've got Facebook presence, Twitter presence. So please do check out our social media. We're really trying to push through the various modalities. So so happy to have Callista, and thank you so much. Thank you for your participation. Kim, I'm going to turn it right back to you.
Fantastic, exciting things that are happening. So we've got, we'll forward the information and the links to all of those events. Dee shared about the CTE showcase on May 19. I'm so excited that that's coming back. And I'm also excited for the things that CBUSD is going to be hosting. So we'll get all of that to you. We're doing really great. So next we have one more program. We'll invite Prudence to share about what's happening with College of the Desert. And then we've reserved some time at the end for just general reflections from everyone on the team. And we'd love to capture that. So I will now turn it over to Prudence to share about College of the Desert.
Hey, thank you, Kim. Let me share my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me change the view so see it in full screen now. All right, how's that look for everybody?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so my name is Prudence Chase. I'm the interim CTE or interim director for CTE projects. And I'm going to be sharing the data for College of the Desert. And some of it will be similar to what you've already seen with our K-12 partners. But obviously as a community college, and we work to prepare our students to enter the workforce. So you'll also see a lot of labor market data that informs how we position our programs and enhancing our programs to ensure that we're adequately preparing students to enter in the workforce. All right, so this first slide you'll see here is the regional labor market data that we get from our centers of excellence.
Prudence, it did not advance. We're still looking at the.
Oh, okay, it advanced for me.
It's on a PDF. It's not a
you're sharing a
slideshow.
PDF now.
It's a PDF.
Okay, let me see, hold on. You're still seeing the first slide?
Yes, we're looking at a PDF and it's the, and we're
You
seeing
gotta
it-
stop sharing the PDF, Prudence, and start sharing PowerPoint or whatever it is that you're using for the presentation.
No, I have the PDF. So it advanced for me, but okay, let me stop and try it again. I might have to. Okay, let's see.
It seems to be working.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I'll leave it. I had it in full screen view so you don't see all the toolbars and stuff, but I'll just leave it here just to make sure we don't have any issues. So this screen here is our regional labor market data that we get from our community colleges centers of excellence. And so this really shows us, their focus with Perkins, particularly this year, is what they call middle skill, high quality occupations. And so the qualifiers, what makes something middle skill and high quality, the high quality is having a median earnings of $23.34 an hour. And also that middle skill means you need something more than a high school diploma, but not necessarily a bachelor's. So that's kind of the sweet spot that College of the Desert falls into, where we can skill those positions and learners can come to us to receive that education and training. So here I compiled the data and I have them ascending from jobs that according to the occupations that have the most job openings. And this is for Inland Empire and the desert region. So not only specific to the Coachella Valley, it also includes the Inland Empire. But I have them listed here, and then you can see just some of the things that we're doing and the programs that we have that match those career clusters. So I'll just highlight a couple of them. The top three is, as you heard before in other data that's been shared today, is transportation, distribution, and logistics is the top industry for job openings. And so that's per the data, it's showing that the median hourly earnings would be $29.98. And so we do have a pretty robust advanced transportation and automotive program at College of the Desert. We have our Roadrunner Motors facility that is partnering with industries to ensure that we're providing students that real world experience and skills that they can take with them to be prepared for the workplace. And then of course, health science comes in second, and we have our nursing program that it does really well, that we're actually looking in ways that we can expand capacity, because there's always a backlog for enrollment for that program. And so what we've done recently is we've enhanced the clinical placement for our nursing when they come out of the program. So that way, we can ensure that they have placement once they complete the training. In addition to some of our allied health and our physical fitness and yoga training programs, we have health and wellness coaches. And so we offer mentorship opportunities for our students. And then our third top industry is business and accounting. And so with that, we have our Roadrunner Makers. It's a makerspace project that's funded through a different grant, our Strong Workforce Grant. And so we're anticipating a soft opening in the summer, and then hopefully a full opening in the fall, in which we'll start by offering some workshops to get the community involved, where they can come in and check out the space and utilize some of the equipment that we have in that makerspace. And then we also partner with the VITA tax preparation program, in which students who are in our accounting program are able to prepare taxes. And so during this tax season, they've already, prepared several, they've had opportunities to prepare taxes for community members here locally to get that real world experience. So that's just the highlight of just the top three. But as you can see, the only industries that we do not have programs for that are listed on this slide is the human services, which is identified as some of the like body and beauty care services, like skincare, cosmetology, and massage. We do not offer a program for that, as well as while we do have STEM related programs, we do not have anything that was listed in the occupations for this labor market slide. So things like forensic, ocean technology, we don't have programs for those. And then as well as insurance. We don't have a program for insurance, although we do offer finance courses. Okay. So one thing that is interesting to note on this slide, though, is that the insufficient data that wasn't available for hospitality, culinary arts, and tourism, and it might be because of that high quality qualifier, right? So jobs that offer or have a median wage of $23.34 or more. And so those, maybe some of the jobs that are available within our area have not met that qualifier. So that was just something interesting that I wanted to share. So as previously mentioned, special population. So this is the data that's specific to COD and our enrollment for special populations. So as you can see, the percentages of the students that we serve in our CTE programs that are special population have decreased a little bit across all populations, and that is pretty consistent with our decrease in enrollment. So we're hoping that as we move forward and come out hopefully of the pandemic, that those numbers will increase in addition to our enrollment. So here's another slide that focuses again on preparing students for jobs. We have surveys that are sent out to our students after they complete a training program, a certification or a degree at College of the Desert. And so they're asked, questions about their employment post-training. And so these were some of the responses and data that we got from that survey. So we're able to increase the number of students that are employed in a field that's very closely related to their field of study. So this survey was last done in 2020. And so in that year, we were able to increase it about 14% from the previous year. And so about 48% reported that they were in a field very closely related to their field of study, with 25% closely related. Also in this middle graph here, you can see that students that obtained a credential or certification after their schooling, they were able to increase their earnings by $7, which is pretty significant, right? So before receiving their training, they were making approximately $14 an hour. They were able to increase that to 21. And then on the previous slide, as you can see, the focus is that, you know, high quality wage of $23.34 or more an hour as a median wage. So we're looking to improve that. So that way when students, you know, exit our programs, that they can meet that high quality wage. And then also there's data showing, you know, whether students were actually employed after their training. And if so, if they were able to, you know, have just one job that allowed them their full-time employment, or if they had multiple jobs or unemployed. So you can see here that almost about 55% of our students were employed with one job, 12% were unemployed, and some of this data, you know, may be skewed as it's capturing, you know, the early effects of the pandemic as well in 2020. And then there's some additional data information there. So 75% of our respondents were employed, 41% were transfers into another college or university, and 86% of our respondents reported being satisfied with their training. All right, so a few more data points that's specific to CTE. So you can see that the number of our CTE students that are enrolled, we increased actually for the 2021 year, and then we went down just a little bit this present year, but it's more than it was in the years 1920. So obviously, again, as we're coming, you know, back out of the pandemic, we're hoping that that will increase as well. A lot of the other data has remained the same. So minimum class sizes has remained. You can see the significant increase in the number of dual enrollments, right? And this is not head count, this is just enrollment. So it may capture students that may be enrolled in multiple dual enrollment classes. But as you've heard, all of our K-12 partners share that dual enrollment has been a focus for them. That increase in course offerings through dual enrollment for CTE has basically doubled from the 2021 to this current school year. Our number of CTE instructors has remained pretty steady since last year. We had some replacements and then just a few new hires that we've conducted. Same number of CTE counselors and career pathways. Our number of articulation agreements has decreased, and that number works, you know, mostly inversely with our dual enrollment, right? So a lot of our articulation agreements have transferred over to become dual enrollment. And so as much as possible with qualified instructors and improvement in our pathways, a lot of those articulation courses are being now offered as dual enrollment. We've significantly increased our work-based learning. And so that's our work experience and any opportunities that allow students to prepare for the real world, right? So we've more than doubled that since our previous year. And lastly, just a couple updates on some of the projects that we have going on in our CTE program. So this list of projects are things that were funded through Perkins for this current fiscal year. And so our building and energy systems, we were able to obtain new automation trainers to enhance program instruction. I've mentioned before the mentorship opportunities that we're really focusing on in a lot of our programs to ensure students get that real world experience and preparation for the workplace. And so we offer that in our early childhood and education programs, as well as our health sciences and yoga mentor. And our horticulture program develops short-term greenhouse management certificate with an emphasis on urban farming. We have improved our New Horizons book loan program. So we've upgraded that to be more accessible online so students don't have to come in to apply. And then the development of the Mecca Thermal location has been placed on hold, which was going to house our public safety programs. And we've also incorporated some virtual reality training simulators for a couple of our programs. And then again, there was, a lot of mention of just the efforts that we want to improve upon, especially with our K-12 partners through our dual enrollment, increasing the course offerings and improving that pathway alignment, in addition to our work-based learning opportunities. We have quite a few internship opportunities. We've worked with our COD Foundation to actually fund some of those opportunities. So instead of them being unpaid, they're now paid through scholarships offered through the COD Foundation. And so that is all of the updates that I have for College of the Desert. I'm going to stop sharing and then I'll put the link in the chat for everyone to participate in the survey and offer your feedback. It would be really helpful.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. Any questions for Prudence or the COD team on the things they shared? It's a quiet group today. I think it's late in the day. Thank you all for being here. Okay.
All right, everyone, you could see the link in the chat, correct?
Yep. So let's give everybody a couple
Perfect.
minutes to spend some time just taking a quick look at that like we did for the others. And I think all of the links are in the chat. So if we could, we'll just give 3, 4, 5 minutes for folks to take a look at that. And then we'd like to just do sort of a closing reflection on general comments. So be thinking about that while you're making notes really quick here.
Okay. Hey, Prudence, I had a question for you, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
Jeff Cable, Work-Based Learning Coordinator, Rancho Mirage High School. Two of my sons will be attending there. I'm a parent as well, but I'm just interested too, since we're a feeder school into you. Work-based learning too, what you said you were expanding those opportunities for internships. What else are you doing as far as work-based learning that's going to be considered sort of an expansion, or what are you going to be, incorporating differently or new?
Yeah, so apprenticeships is going to be a focus. So that's something that we're working on in a couple of our programs through our applied construction technology and construction management. We have like the pre-apprenticeship program that's offered in partnership with the Southwest Carpenters Union. And, we have that tiny house project that's being worked on right now with the K-12s. And then we also have the Global VIP internship program. And so that's for our digital design and marketing students. A lot of our programs are looking towards large corporations that have internship opportunities that we can partner with.
Hey, Prudence, if I may, it's Felix over in CIS. We're partnering with Robert Half to provide apprenticeship opportunities in cybersecurity and IT. So that's, we're just signing an NDA right now. So that'll probably be up and running in the fall. Robert Half is sort of kind of like a temp agency for a lot of accounting, business kind of related services. And they partnered up with the California Department of Labor to start offering apprenticeships in cybersecurity. Because of the need being so huge, they need to get people in the workforce as soon as possible. So we're going to be taking part of that in the fall.
Perfect. Yeah,
CIS.
Anna Hernandez. Yeah, Anna Hernandez is our work experience coordinator, and she's really leading those efforts. So through the work experience office, that houses all of those work-based learning opportunities. So internships, apprenticeships, and also job placement.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
you
Prudence.
can always
Thank-
reach out to me, Kevin. I'll put my information in the chat if you have more individual questions.
For me, that's great to hear about the digital film media, because I know I have a son who is going to be graduating from Palm Desert High School and is in video and film, and that really turned him around. And Mr. Bebo knows about that, so yeah. So looking forward, that'll be something I can talk to him about, and I think he'll be interested to do internships regarding that. So thank you. Some conversation with my son.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments for College of the Desert? Beth put a note in the chat, discussions to add apprenticeships for business accounting and CIS. I'm just seeing that. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I put that in right before Felix spoke. So
Okay.
it adds, he's further ahead than we are. But we have a meeting coming up to discuss the opportunities for accounting and business as well.
Awesome.
Are there some dual enrollment classes for like health academy stuff or nursing? Is there, I know they do prerequisites, but some type of courses that can, transfer over, the kids can take? I know a lot of, online is open, huge. So I know a lot of the kids are completing classes online. So I'm wondering if there's anything, that our health students can possibly take, or any students can possibly take.
Yeah, I know we have some dual enrollment offerings in our kinesiology courses for sports medicine pathway, and I think one other, but not for nursing. But we do work a lot with the health academies, just in opportunities and, kind of ensuring that those students can matriculate into our nursing program, but it's just so impacted. That's the challenge with our nursing. And so we're, looking for ways to build capacity for that program. But yeah, I know that we have dual enrollment offerings for our sports medicine pathway. And then Beth, you were going to share something.
Yeah, I was going to say, and to keep in mind that, dual and concurrent are technically, dual is in charge, the K-12s offer it during bell schedule, but we have many, many opportunities for students to take classes concurrent. So after bell schedule or asynchronous, which means they're fully in charge of their learning experience. So really want to encourage the K-12s to get their students to be able to do either asynchronous classes or classes that are after the bell schedule, so they get those college credits. And so, like, for example, in the fall, I'll be teaching an intro to business class from 3:30 to 4:50 synchronous, so Zoom. So that's a great opportunity for the K-12 students. They're out of school by that time. They could still have a person-to-person lecture college class that's not dual, but would be very similar to that being done by a teacher in person, or look at our schedule for any of the asynchronous and then contact Brian Thompson to get your students enrolled.
Thank you.
I noticed on one of the slides, there was a health and wellness counseling, or there was it looked like a new program at College of the Desert that was health related, or health and wellness certificate.
Yeah, so there, so we have our health and wellness program, so that encompasses our yoga, fitness specialist program. They have mentorship programs that they're doing with students. And so that's what that is. But there is a new program in allied health for community health worker. I believe is the official name. I know it was something that's kind of been in the works for a while, but that is up and running.
Is that a certificate program?
Yes.
Because that would be an excellent one, I think, for the Health Academy kiddos to explore. And then I don't know, our Riverside University Health Systems folks are still on, but anything related to peer support, or anything in behavioral health would be welcome as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get the link and put it in the chat now for that program.
Okay. Any other general reflections or thoughts or comments on this? I know I was struck by just the expansion of the programs overall and the connectedness and alignment to the regional workforce needs, and then the connection between across K-12, but then also into the college programs. Anything stand out for folks that you want to lift up?
Kim, I just want to make a comment. I love that we've come together to do our regional comprehensive local needs assessment. I mean, that's a compliance hit, and I just love that we've come together for that. But as I'm reflecting on, okay, so Palm Springs had an advisory yesterday. They have an upcoming showcase. I know, Kevin, you're doing your stuff. I really would like to pick up on doing a regional program CTE student showcase and advisory, because I know that our business partners, it's got to be really tough for them to be taxed to all the different meetings and requests. So I think this is a good start, but I would love to see us move more in that direction where we come together, pick one day. We could even make it fun and do competitions for the kids and really make it meaningful. And I've been saying this for a while, but
I think it's great to keep lifting that up. And as I thought about, the taco truck that you guys are doing and the Palm Springs Unified doing it at the Air Museum, maybe there's a way to do it at a big venue and make it sort of a celebration. I know, I think Bob shared, we've been judges for that Palm Springs Unified one for many years. And it really is extraordinary when you get a chance to sort of walk and experience. And the same thing, Marie, we used to do yours at the Marriott. So yeah, happy to explore. And if there's a way we can assist with that, happy to.
And I would like to bring it back to the Marriott, since they're such a wonderful partner to all 3 school districts. The only reason I didn't this year is because we didn't know what was going to happen with COVID. And that's the only reason we didn't do it this year. But, if things stay the way they are next year, I just want to do a major event again.
Awesome. Well, we could gather the crew and start planning and brainstorming.
Definitely.
I wanna echo those sentiments, because I know Marie's been talking about this for a while, and those presentations that we had at the JW Marriott, it was fun and it was nice, and everybody got to see what everybody was doing, and it would be nice to be able to collaborate rather than doing in silos separately. So that would be good for everyone out here, not just individual groups.
Yeah, I think that would be, the industry partners would probably really like that.
Well, I'm watching the chat and so many people are saying, yep, I agree. So, okay, so basically, Calista, you, me, and Kevin, we need to talk, and we should probably calendar something for next year. And then once it's in the books, we just stick with it.
Yeah, and maybe with Prudence, and maybe we could do it, if it's too much to do all the programs, maybe break them out by industry sectors over a couple of days. I see Bob Canby turn on his camera and nodding.
So I agree with what everybody said, and just the fact that we're sitting here doing the 3 school districts together we've come a long way. And over the last few years, and I think it's helpful for everybody, not only the business and industry partners, but for everybody who's involved to see what's going on in all the different school districts. I know it helps me a lot to get a better handle on what the needs are per school district and where the issues are, where the common issues, and where the issues that create some problems. So.
Great, thank you. Any other comments or thoughts?
Yes, I would like to, just say, thank you everyone. And these meetings are very informative. I had thrown out the gauntlet in Sacramento to Desert Sands about a competition with Cafe and La Quinta High School culinary. It's not to incite any sort of, bitter rivalry, but I think these would be events that would be, it's a win-win for everybody with the districts. It gets in the news.
Jeff, we know what this is. This is about eating well. I'm all about eating well at all times.
You got me, Kevin. You got me. God. Yeah, let's discuss it at a Kings game there. Shall we, Bebo?
Let's go.
Well,
so that's all. That's all I wanted to say. And then I think the soft skills too, which is the portion I'm working on, and I'm not here to promote anybody, but I am using Danny Rubin, if some of you are familiar with him. And during COVID, I sat in on a lot of his sessions, and I wrote a grant, and I'm using his curriculum. And I don't know if it would be, he has expressed interest in sharing it with us. It's outstanding. The website's a little clunky, I'll say, but the content is excellent. And it would be great for maybe all districts to think about as something universal for soft skills. I'll just put it out there. I'm open to other things, but I'm using it, and I'd be happy to, I think he would want to come in maybe on one of these meetings and share it and then see what you think and go from there. But it's really been successful for me in the limited time I've done it, because it focuses on how to leave a message, how to do business letters, all these things that, how to address a letter, which I found out to my surprise, many of my students do not know how to do. So those type of things are really the foundation of this. And I think we can't lose sight of that. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you for sharing that, Jeff. Desert Mirage High School has been using it for 2 years. I buy a CTE just site license. Coachella Valley is not using it yet, but Desert Mirage has been using it, and the teachers requested it. It's not something I shoved at them. They came to me with it. We piloted it last year, and we went full blown this year.
Well, that's pretty cool too, because we've had a focus, this team has had a focus on those essential skills, and we've been looking for what might be. So that's a great thing to know that a couple of you are using it. So maybe Kevin, we can explore it with Desert Sands. Awesome. I am so excited because looking at the clock.
Kim,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to say one thing too. I had an idea, since we're talking about regional things and doing things across districts. One thing that would be a good idea for us to consider looking at is the possibility of regionally recognizing what these CTE students are accomplishing in their CTSO competitions. Because one thing that we recognize it for our district, I'm sure Desert Sands does for theirs, Palm Springs for theirs. But if we could kind of somehow get it out there, how powerful we are in CTSOs as a region, I think that would be something really great for our business and industry partners to see, and for the kids to see, and parents and schools and everybody. And I don't know how we show that, but I think we should.
I agree, Eric.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a great idea. Maybe we could do something in combination with the regional showcase advisory, or do something additional. I think that's an awesome.
Yeah, and it would kind of inspire some of those inter-district rivalries, friendly rivalries like Kevin and Jeff were talking about, but in the context of the actual competitions, it could be cool.
That's very, very cool. Okay, so I'm hearing a couple of follow-ups. One is looking at a regional student showcase advisory fun celebration event or a couple next year. And so Marie D, Kalista, and Kevin will connect on that, and happy to help be a part of that. Maybe even connect in Prudence and the COD team. Also, there are some upcoming events, and we've shared the links to those. I'll make sure we push them out, but please encourage folks to come. I'll share that I had several business partners who had confirmed they'd be here today, and they had things come up. So I'm thankful that we recorded this, and we will share the recording and then share the survey links. So if please share it with your partners so that we get you the feedback that you need for this. And then this idea of that one skills resource to augment what we're doing with essential skills. Thank you for sharing that, Jeff, and Marie sharing that you have it. So I think that's another thing we can look at. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Okay. Thank you all. Thank you to our business partners who participated and who continue to provide input, to all of the educators and admin here today. I agree that it's really powerful to hear it all together in the same place at the same time. Really impressive what we're accomplishing collectively on behalf of our students and to prepare them for what's next. I'll share those links. Our next business engagement alignment team, and y'all are invited to that ongoing, is coming up on May 11th at 4 o'clock. And perhaps we can lift a couple of these up as agenda items, and the business engagement team can support them moving forward. Any last questions, thoughts, concerns? Okay, then thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you for the outstanding presentations. Prudence, I think I've got anybody who I don't have. Marie, if I could get your slides, and Prudence yours, we'll share those as an additional resource for folks to encourage them to complete the surveys for you. And
I just sent it to you. So you
awesome.
got it.
Okay, great. So fabulous. Thank you all. And we're able to gift you back a little bit of time this evening. So enjoy your evening. Appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you. Bye,
Good
everyone.
night. Thank you very much.
Bye. Great job.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Kim, long time no see.
Yes.
See you next time.
Bye, kiddo. Take care.
Thanks.
Jeff, thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. And I was going to say with Danny, again, I worked with him pretty closely, and then I communicate with him. He asked